I'm Greg, and this is my persuasive speech. My topic today is sponsoring a child through a world vision. I'd like to introduce my audience here first, if they would announce themselves to the camera.
I'm IK.
I'm Chuck.
I'm Chris Miller.
I'm Steve.
Thank you. I'm going to give you a few statistics to begin with. According to World Vision's website, sponsoring a child is the most powerful way you can fight poverty. The need is constant due to ongoing natural disasters, famine, poverty, war, and disease around the globe. Children around the world go without basic needs like clean water, nutritious food, medical care, and education. I'll ask you a question. How do you feel when you see a commercial on TV about hunger or starvation or extreme poverty? Do you change the channel or do you watch? Do you think about those that live in daily poverty? Do you feel a sense of responsibility to take care of the poor and needy? Have you ever gone without clean water or nutritious food for days or even weeks? Most likely you have not. All over the world, children suffer simply because they lack clean water, enough nutritious food, health care, education, and economic opportunity. As human beings, we should want to take care of each other, especially children, which are the future. First, I'd like to talk to you about poverty impacting children around the globe. Second, about how you can become a World Vision child sponsor. And finally, how child sponsorship helps children, families, and communities around the globe to reach their full potential. Let me begin by briefly telling you about the impact of poverty on children. According to World Vision, their website, millions of children are living in poverty. Hunger weakens them, unsafe drinking water makes them sick, missing out on education keeps them from reaching their potential, and nearly 9 million children will die before their 5th birthday this year, most from preventable causes like poverty, disease, and hunger. Child poverty occurs for a variety of reasons, including natural disasters, civil conflict, famine, political turmoil, and war, to name a few. According to UNICEF development program, a child dies every 7 seconds due to hunger-related causes. That means about 68 children will die during the time I present this speech. Hunger contributes to over half of all child deaths. 5 million hungry children die each year. As you can see, the need for child sponsors is great. You can choose to be a child sponsor yourself. Child sponsorship is very important to foster community development. As a child sponsor, you are connected with one special child who will know your name, write to you, and feel your love and prayers. If you choose to sponsor a child living in a community with AIDS, affected by AIDS, your monthly gift, in addition, will go to fight the HIV/AIDS pandemic. I'm sure that you can see from what I've described so far, there is a great need for people like you to sponsor a child. I recently surveyed my classmates, and they all said they would like to hear more about World Vision and the services they offer worldwide. But you might be asking, how will a child benefit from $35 a month that I give? Let me tell you. Just think about it. $35 a month, about the cost of a round of golf, 3 movie tickets, or probably less than the cost of a dinner for a family of 4. As a child sponsor, your monthly sponsorship gift will provide the child with clean water, nutritious food, health care, educational opportunities, and spiritual nurture. And if you choose to sponsor a Hope Child, and that's a child living in a community that's affected by AIDS, in addition to those needs I already mentioned, your gift will help with AIDS prevention, caring for a sick or dying parent of that child, and HIV counseling. This is how you become a sponsor. It's very simple. You go to the World Vision website, worldvision.org, or call them at 866-962-4453. When you agree to this commitment, you choose to be a sponsor of a boy or girl. You get to select the country that they're from. And World Vision currently has projects in nearly 100 countries. My wife and I have sponsored children from India and Indonesia, and most recently a boy from Chile and a girl from Mexico, and I have their cards here. This is Juan Pedro from Chile, and this is Marisol from Mexico. She's only 2, so we can't really get a lot of information out of her yet. He's about 8 or 9, so he's into typical 8 or 9-year-old things. You will receive a picture of the child as you begin sponsoring them, and the child's package will include their name, their birth date, the country they're from, the chores they do, their favorite subjects in school, and what they like to eat, and details about their family so you can get to know them a little bit more. You can see that it isn't difficult to become a child sponsor. Now let's look at what may happen if you choose to sponsor a child, or what may happen if you choose not to. Child sponsorship not only helps children reach their full potential, but it strengthens families and communities around the globe. If you do sponsor a child, his or her community and family will benefit. In a recent story by James Addis and Kanakar 3 Palaviscal, a former sponsored child has become an undercover cop. His name is Napadan Chungran, and he is now a major in the Royal Thai Air Force. Now 31 years old, he grew up in the area of Bangkok known for drug addiction and gambling. He and his sisters were enrolled in the World Vision Child Sponsorship Program, enabling them to pay for school fees and textbooks. And as a result of that, Napadan was able to meet high academic standards, which then enabled him to get into the police academy. So he's now 31 years old and he's very successful undercover cop. On the other hand, if you're thinking about becoming a child sponsor but never do, children and families are at greater risk for poor health, lack of clean water, disease, and hunger. Sponsoring a child through World Vision could be one of the most important decisions you make during your life, a great gift that you give to a child, their family, and their community. I told you about poverty impacting children around the globe, the need for child sponsors, and how you can become one. Finally, how child sponsorship not only helps children reach their full potential, but how sponsoring a child impacts their families and communities. What if the child waiting to be sponsored was someone you knew or loved, such as a brother or sister, or you were the parent of one of these children? How would you respond? My survey questions indicate that nearly 50% of my classmates said that they had watched a World Vision commercial, a program, an internet video, although only half, including me, have actually become child sponsors. I'm going to leave you with two short messages, one from Rich Stearns, who is the president of the U.S. World Vision. And he says to sponsors, "Thank you for coming alongside a child in desperate need. You become a valued helper to their community and our valued partner as we work together to be instruments of God's love for the children." And also for those considering sponsorship, he says, World Vision exists to build a better world for children, and with the help of our donors, sponsors, and supporters, we resolutely and systematically address a wide range of social, economic, cultural, environmental, and political issues with the goal of helping to free children everywhere from poverty. Please make the decision to become a World Vision sponsor. Remember, sponsorship changes lives. Any questions? Any questions?
Yeah, Greg, what other areas does World Vision provide assistance to?
Very good question, Steve. It's a global organization, but my research of this topic has shown that they're pretty much everywhere around the globe. I think there are close to 40,000 folks working with that organization, and 98% of those folks are actually natives to the countries they're in that are helping out with the work there. So that's a really great statistic. They do work in the U.S. in more poverty-stricken, indigent areas. I have a whole list of different states and locations they are in the U.S. They also are big into disaster response and recovery. They're out in the Somalia. They're out there now taking care of business there, and also Haiti relief. They've got quite a few people down there taking care of it, and that's a year later, and they're still taking care of Haiti. And also advocacy is they've been doing that for a while too, but along with this, with the children and their needs, there are other things as well: AIDS, malaria, child trafficking that goes on, youth violence, and hunger. And they go and speak at Capitol Hill and other political conventions and so forth to speak out on behalf of these children. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Did you record?